Well, obviously you're optimistic about this city recovering.
I am optimistic because my faith is in God. And God said I can build a nation off of remnants. If he can build a nation off of remnants, he can take care of New Orleans. It will take time, and I think leaders need to listen more to what ordinary people are saying. I'm not at the round table, but I know what I want for my neighborhood. And I think too many people are around the table who feel like they have all the answers. And you cannot tell me what belongs in my neighborhood unless you live there. You can't tell me what I need to rebuild my house unless it's my house. I have a lot of, I don't even know what to say because it took me a while to regroup after I got put out of my house. I've been in that house for 28 years. I purposely did not want to buy a home because I was I'm 71 years old, and where was I going to go buy a house? So it sufficed all my needs. I had plenty of sleeping room. I had plenty musician training room. I had plenty office space, backyard. So I didn't need to buy a house. But when I was told I had to move, I couldn't handle that. Because first of all, I didn't have nobody to help me. That was in October. And where was I going? And it took me a long time. I got 3 young men who was in rehab who came to help, because I used to work with this center of young men, and they came to help me to move. And the house went without curtains for almost a year and a half. I couldn't take the sheets down off the window. It's just, and I had to keep singing that same song to myself. It's easy to tell somebody else what to do, but it's hard to follow your own advice. And so I had to keep telling myself, keep your eyes on the prize. It's going to be all right. Keep your eyes on it. So what I did after I made my home, I called my home the Dewdrop Inn. So I had 14 people sleeping in there at one time. So it's Dewdrop Inn. Anybody that came from out of town, you have a place to sleep. And if it's going to help you get back on your feet. So I went to some young people who went to, Lou and his family went to Alabama. And my children, my grandchildren, grandchildren come, and anybody comes.
Well, next time you need help, you let us know.
Oh, yes. Because I am buying my home now. Ha, ha, ha. I will not move again for nobody.
That's good.
Clap on that one. I said clap because they said you couldn't buy a house when you're 71. I said, who told me? That's discrimination. They didn't want to hear me. I gave them my house. How you going to stop me if I got the money? Hey, Money don't have no age on it. Okay. So I'm across the street, which led me to stay in the community where I really wanted to be, because right now, if you go down Broadway Street and come on around Pine, you see all these big old white things inside of this building on Ahart Boulevard and Pine. They're moving 9 million pounds of toxins out of that neighborhood.
My goodness.
Yes, after 20 years of fighting. But guess what? When it becomes environmental clear, we still got another fight, because then investors will come in and gentrification will set in. Y'all know what that word is? Okay. So we're fighting for that. We're fighting against that. And I want to make sure that Miss Mary, who's old in age, still have her place, and she can still call that home. I want to make sure Albert, who rented an apartment, have an apartment to move into. I don't want it to be like Harlem. Mm-hmm. You can't go and do anything anymore.
So you're looking after your whole community.
Trying, and I asked God, why me? And he said, why not you? And I remember I wanted to move out of Gertown, and I said, I'm just tired of the fighting. You got to fight government, you got to fight the mayor's office, you got to fight environmental. It's just too much fighting. I said, I'm moving. And I was walking through my living room, and the voice said to me, God didn't get angry with me. He simply gave me his word. He said, to whom much is given, much is required. And he said, read the end of that. When people know you can do much, they require much. So I'm across the street.